beats on the track.
All right, you guys, we back at it, man. This is trucking with 9 to 5 Twine, man. And on today's episode, we gonna talk about getting your road driving experience, getting experience on the road. I'm talking about before you get your CDL, this is how you gonna learn how to pull out a parking lot, bust your right or left turn, start going to a red light, going through a green light, merging onto the highway, coming up off the highway, doing a Michigan U, or doing, no, not a Michigan U, but doing a roundabout if your state has those. Not every state has those. Most states should, but I don't know. Backing up the trailer. I mean, backing exercises is its own thing. I'm talking about, if you, like, literally, if you just got in the truck with a trainer and you doing the road driving, I doubt they would make you do like a backing maneuver. They probably would. They probably won't. It just depends on the trucking school and the trainer. It probably just make you pull up somewhere, stop, let another student get in the driver, you get in the back, whatever. So let's talk about it, man. This road experience. Don't let it go over your head. This is the key to road driving experience. Once you master the backhand maneuvers, once you master pre-trip, and you memorize the pre-trip, and then you started doing the backhand maneuvers, you know how to straight line back, you know how to offset, you know how to parallel park. There's only one last thing left, and that is the driving experience. You taking that truck on the road on your driving test. That's going to be the main factor. If you pass the pre-trip and the back exercises, the last step is pulling that truck from that testing parking lot, going onto the streets where it's real traffic, real life situations, and going on whatever route they send you on and making it back to that parking lot without being penalized so much that the instructor said you failed your test. So let's get into it, man. So for one, let's separate. I'm gonna talk about it from my experience. I know how to drive a manual left foot and right foot with your right arm on the shifter. I know how to drive a manual transmission commercial vehicle, a stick, basically, stick shift. Okay, so I'm not gonna speak on automatics because I didn't take my road test in the automatic. If you're a new driver, you having a manual transmission restriction isn't that bad for the simple fact that most of these major companies, any major trucking company, most major trucking companies are basically almost got rid of all of their sticks, all of their manual transmissions, and most of these major companies all have automatic trucks, and that's just 90% facts. Maybe they still have a few sticks on their fleet. They might, but eventually trucking is going to an all automatic industry, minus the heavy hauling, because the heavy haulers need that manual to help them get up the hills and pull more weight. Manuals are better for hauling heavier loads, like oversized loads and heavier loads, basically. So you'll still have sticks around, but it won't be as many as automatics. It's just the trucking industry. The trucking industry has changed over the last 6 years. I'm finna reach my 7th year of trucking this June. So I'm 6 years in. So the first, basically, up until now, like as of right now, 2024, a lot of these major companies are strictly automatic trucks. So with that being said, not to get off subject, I'm gonna speak on the manual transmission experience versus the automatic, because I didn't learn in automatic and I didn't take my test in the automatic. So with that being said, let's just dive into road experience using a manual transmission. Okay, so basically you should, I ain't gonna say you should, but in truck driving school, they break everything up into sections. So before you even learn how to back up the truck and do straight line backing, when they start your group off, let's say it's 30 students or whatever, they're gonna start everybody off just giving them basic knowledge of trucking. Then they're gonna take everybody outside and everybody gonna learn pre-trip. Once you learn pre-trip, then I believe they split up, out of them 30 students, they split up one group to driving, road driving, and then they split the other half up to backing. Once the people come back from their road driving, they go straight to the backing exercises. And when the people who started off doing the backing exercises, they do the road driving. So in the morning time, it's you either doing road driving or backing exercises. Whichever one you do, you're gonna swap, and that's how you're gonna do your days. That's how I did in my trucking school. It might be different for yours. So with that being said, for the road driving proportion, you basically gotta learn how to get comfortable switching gears. That's the most important thing. Driving a manual transmission is not rocket science. It's super easy. Super easy. You ain't gotta be nervous and be scared and keep looking at the shifter, because one of the trainers almost kicked me out the truck because as I'm driving, I kept looking at the shifter. But that's just something I was doing. But you ain't gotta be nervous. It's not rocket science. When it's time for you to shift that gear, all you gotta do is rev up. Basically, I'm gonna make it so sweet that you just gonna completely understand this without being technical. I'm not even gonna tell you the technicality. Once you hit the gas, once you, like, let's just say you got your foot on the gas, you push in the air brake, the parking brake, push it in and release it. And now the trainer should have you start the truck up in third gear. So to even turn on the truck, you're gonna have your foot on the clutch pedal. You're gonna have your foot on the brake. To even start up a manual transmission truck, you gotta have the clutch pushed in. Okay, so both your feet is on your left foot is on the clutch, your right foot is on the brake. Start up the truck. Okay. Some trainers might have you start off in first gear. We started off in third. Third gear is still a low gear. So if you just yank your foot off the clutch pedal, the truck is gonna jump up and start moving automatically. You're not supposed to just jump off the clutch pedal, because the truck gonna make a crazy movement and basically make a crazy, I want to say a violent pull, like a sudden pull. Because when you hit the gas, as you hitting the gas, you gotta ease off the clutch. So this is the gas pedal, and this is the clutch. So when you push the gas in, you coming up off the clutch. I'm not gonna be technical with it. That's just how the mechanics of driving a manual transmission works. And when you releasing off the clutch, that shifter is basically already in gear to make the wheels start moving. So okay, so let's say you in third gear. And before I get too deep, I should have explained the gears. So I think I'm gonna show y'all the gears. I don't know if you know, but I wish I had my computer. Hold on, let me see something. I'm gonna show you the gear. I'm gonna show y'all real quick. This Freightliner. Manual. gear pattern. Okay, so I'm gonna show you the gears real quick. You see this? So first gear, so all the way, just memorize this. First, second, third, fourth, fifth. Those are the lower gears, but 3 is the lowest that you can start in. I mean, don't get me wrong, you possibly could start at 4, but you'll probably burn rubber and it'll take off super violently and shake real hard if you do that. We didn't start off in 1, we started off in 3. Or no, I think we started in 2, or I think 3, but to get us comfortable with driving, I think we started off in 2. So like I said, that's the gear pattern. As you can see, this is the leftmost part of the gear pattern. So all the way to the left, you got reverse at the top and you got the first gear at the bottom. So let me finish explaining the gear pattern real quick. This is what you gotta understand. Okay, so if I'm in the truck right now and I got my hand on the steering wheel and this is the shifter. So to know it's in neutral, the neutral position, you gotta move it left to right. If the shifter can move left and right easily like this, you know it's neutral. But if it's in a gear, you ain't gonna be able to move it left and right. If it's in a gear, it only can move up or down. So with that being said, just visualize what I showed you. Reverse is all the way to the top left corner. Then you got the 1 gear, and then the second gear is the next gear. No, so reverse, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So think about that pattern that you just seen. That's the movement that the shifter goes in. Reverse, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 6 different positions that the shifter can move in. So like I said, I think we started in 3. Okay, so let's just say we started off in the second gear, right? You let your foot off the clutch, you hit the gas a little bit, you let your foot off the clutch. Automatically, the truck is gonna start rolling very slow. That's to get you comfortable with driving, right? Okay, now you wanna learn how to shift. To shift, all you gotta do is give it, before you shift gears, I don't care what gear you in, before you shift gears, you gotta get a truck some gas, hit the clutch, and go to your next gear. So if I'm in the second gear and I'm rolling like at 2 miles per hour, moving reels, the wheels, you're gonna see the truck moving, going real slow, 2 miles per hour. I think maybe 3, maybe 4. It's gonna be driving real slow. To get you comfortable with driving, you're gonna get a truck gas, and then to go to the third gear, which is the next gear right behind, like going straight down, you're gonna get a truck some gas, hit the clutch, and go down, all in one move. Don't overthink it. So just visualize me, I'm driving, gas. Once I gas it, don't overthink it. Hit the clutch and come down. That's your third gear. I'm not even gonna speak on double clutching. The trucking industry, that's how they teach new drivers double clutch. So when you hit the gas, I'm gonna be quick on double clutching. You ain't gotta. They tell you have to, but in all actuality, that's just a process in which they teach new drivers. In all actuality, you ain't got a double clutch. You could just hit the gas, hit the clutch, and go to your next gear. Double clutching is They want you to hit the gas, hit the clutch, go to the neutral spot, then hit the clutch and go to hit the clutch again and go to your next gear. That's double clutching. They basically want you to, let's say you in second gear, gas it up, clutch neutral, clutch third gear. That's double clutching. You hitting the clutch twice. You don't have to do that, but listen to your CDL school and your CDL instructor. Okay, so you could go a little faster now. Maybe you could go like 7 to 8, 9, 10 miles per hour. Don't be technical. I don't want to be technical on how fast because I don't even remember how fast each gear can go. But that's something you could look up. Super easy to understand. So, okay, you in third gear. Boom. You want to be going at least 25 on these roads when you out here learning how to drive trucks. But most of these trucking companies have it on their trailers, like they have signs on the trailers saying student in training or truck driving school or whatnot. So cars should know to be like patient driving behind you and not doing crazy stuff like you just got experience. Okay, so boom. You go to third gear. You give it some gas. Now, when I said give it gas, you're gonna hit the gas pedal. And this is what I meant, but I didn't want to be technical at first. When you give it gas, you're gonna look at your RPMs, the RPM meter. You want that RPM meter between 1,000 to 1,300 every single time. That just the technicality of switching gears. Because if you don't gas the truck up to 1,000 RPMs, 1,000 to 1,300, what's gonna happen is when you try to shift gears, you hit the clutch and try to shift gears, it's gonna basically make a bad noise and bad grinding sound because you didn't have, and that's why I said I don't want to be technical. So basically, you didn't have the RPMs high enough for it to shift gears properly and smoothly. So when you don't have the RPMs up, it grinds down the shifter, I believe. It messes up the shifter and the transmission in some kind of way because the RPMs were not high enough to catch something that's supposed to align with that shifter. So I'm not going to be technical about that, but just remember, when I say give it gas, that means you got to give it enough gas for them RPMs. And you also, you could go you could be too low or you could be too high. So that's why I said 1,000 to 1,300 is where you want the RPMs to be at anytime you shift gears. So if you got your foot all the way pressed down on the gas pedal in second gear, you never gonna reach 20 miles per hour because second gear does not allow that speed to occur when it's only in second gear. I think you could get up to like 20 miles per hour in fifth gear or maybe sixth gear, I think. So when you get to sixth gear, that's when you're gonna really start doing like 20 to 30 miles per hour. And then seventh gear is like 30 to 40. Eighth gear is 40 to 50. Ninth gear is 50 to 60. And 10th gear, yeah, it's something like that. Don't quote me on that because I don't remember the technical gears. And I'm gonna be honest, driving a stick shift car is literally the same principle, like a stick shift Mustang, whatever kind of stick shift car that you may have seen someone drive. It's the same principle with driving trucks. That's what they don't want you to know. It is the same principle. It is the same exact process. The only difference, you in a bigger truck. That's it. So Back to what I was saying. You're gonna shift from second to third, rev up the gas, give it some gas, which means you getting your RPMs up from 1,000 to 1,300, and then boom, you in third gear. Okay, give it some more gas. Give it some more gas. Hit the clutch. Now you going to the right corner. So you see how the outline of the shifting pattern is. Reverse, 1 gear, 2 gear, 3 gear, 4th gear is in the right corner, 5th gear is in the bottom right corner. 4th gear, give it some gas, hit the clutch, shift it down to 5th gear. Now, I believe 5th gear you could go like 25, 15 to 25. Okay, now let me show you something. So, as y'all can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So once you get to the 5th gear in the bottom right corner, it's a switch on the shifter. You're gonna click that switch up to go into higher gears. And then once you hit that switch, you see the 5th gear is right there at the bottom. When you hit that switch up, you're gonna go all the way to the 6th gear over here. So to make the truck go faster, you gotta hit that switch up. And now you're in the higher gears to go faster. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So basically, once you start switching gears and get comfortable with that and learning the gears, you start switching that gear up. Now you learning how to go faster, basically. And that's basically only gonna be most likely when you're going on roads where you go, I think 35 to 40, 50 miles per hour. You're gonna be in about 7th, 8th gear or whatever. And that's basically the key to road driving, is learning how to switch gears and learning how to downshift. And downshift is the same process. Once you slowing down, let's say for instance, if you going 55 and you finna come to a red light, you're not supposed to just, it's different ways you could do it. It's different ways you can go about it, but in trucking school, they not gonna let you just shift. They not gonna let you just go from 55 miles per hour to just putting in the neutral and slowing down in neutral and hitting the brake and just coasting in neutral. They want to see you downshift. So if you in 8th gear, they want to see you downshift to 6 while you slowing down if you come into a red light. So downshifting is the same process. The only difference is once you slowing down to go in that lower gear, you gotta rev your RPMs up. You gotta hit the gas to make it go in the lower gear. So the technical part I was saying, the RPMs, you gotta make the RPMs go up. So once you finish switch gears, you hit that gas, hit the clutch, so the gears could go in smoothly and you switch gears properly. Excuse me for not explaining that the mechanical and technical way, because I'm not hip to how manual transmissions work in the mechanical aspect to explain to you guys why the truck jerks when you're not at the right RPMs. I'm just explaining the process that you have to do to properly upshift and downshift. You have to get your RPMs from 1,000 to 1,300 to make it go smoothly into the spot when you shifting gears. Downshifting is the same process. You just hitting the brake and then hitting the gas before you switch. You go to your lower gears when you go down the gear. Uh, with that being said, man, making a left-hand turn at a light is the same as making a left-hand turn light in your car, with the exception you got a trailer. So with road experience, that's the other thing you need to know. When you got a trailer, instead of if you in a regular car right now, you got to make a left turn. You just get off the brake, hit your gas, and make your left turn. And that's it. The difference with trucks and trailers is instead of you just pulling forward, turning your wheel, and making a left like you would in the car, you gotta pull out. You gotta go straight and then hit your turn. So the trailer is following you around versus if you just hit a turn, that trailer is gonna follow you regardless, but it's gonna follow you in the path of basically you just don't you don't want to pull out. You don't want to just go straight into your turn when you turn it like you would a car, because then your trailer could wind up hitting somebody's car or hitting a sign or even be blocked by one of those median barriers like them. Like, you know how those big medians have some kind of concrete, or like the median on the highways. Some streets have those big medians where you just can't drive over them. So basically, if you finna do a left-hand turn or even a right-hand turn, you're not supposed to just turn your wheel and go. You're supposed to pull straight out. I'm talking about, I want to say, it's pull about 2-3 feet forward. Okay, I'm gonna say this. Okay, so say for instance, whatever street you on, you in the right-hand lane. It's a 2-lane street. It's 4 lanes. It's two going. It's 1 lane here, 1 lane here, going your direction, and then it's 2 lanes on the other side. You ain't even worried about the left because you're finna make a right at the next street. So, if you're in the right-hand lane, in order to bust your right, once you get to the light and get to that corner, you're not just gonna turn the real right and then just start going. Because once you finally get the truck to turn, your trailer is gonna follow you. And if you didn't pull out far enough before you went into your turn, your trailer is gonna start dragging against or going over whatever on your right hand side. So that's just the only other thing you gotta learn about road driving, is the trailer hanging and the way the trailer follows you as you turn. So in order to not hit nothing when you doing turns, you gotta pull out. You gotta pull out further than you normally would versus a regular car. So with a regular car, you just in a regular car, if you in the right-hand lane, this the car, you would just make your right turn. But with a truck and trailer, it's none of just you just doing the turn. No, you gotta come out, then bust your turn. You know what I'm saying? And if it's a 2-lane road that you're making a right on, you're not gonna try to go straight to that right lane. You're gonna turn and you're gonna be in that left lane so your trailer could clear. And that way, once you make your turn, you're gonna be in the left lane and then use your right turning signal to get back in that right lane. So that's the only thing about road experience. You just gotta learn how to turn and watch your trailer and shift gears, and learn how to shift gears fast enough when you're going down the entrance of a highway. So when you're going down the entrance of a highway, you should be in about 6th gear already when you're going down that ramp. So when you're going down that ramp, you got to be fast and be hitting the gas and shifting up very fast to get you got to be doing at least 55 miles per hour once you get to the bottom, once you merge onto the highway, your truck should be at 55 miles per hour. So as you going down, you should be like at 40. So by the time you get to the end of that merge point, you should be at 55 miles per hour. Because if you're not at 55 miles per hour, they will fail you on your test. They will fail you on your road test. And that's basically the only other thing that you really need to learn, is learning how to shift gears, learning how to do a right turn, a left turn, downshifting and upshifting, and learning how to merge on the highway, getting your gears up, getting your speed up to 55 miles per hour. That's the key to road driving. Period. That's all it is. Plain and simple. So, say for instance, today was day one, and they not gonna force feed you all that in one day. They gonna, the trainers, they gonna track your progress and get you comfortable, and you're gonna take baby steps until you're not just gonna do that your first day. Your first day, they not gonna put you on the highway. You just gonna learn how to drive the streets, regular streets. Some may be residential. I learned in Indianapolis, some of the streets we was on was like a little residential. It was mostly major business streets. You would drive about 5 miles, park the truck, switch turns, and you're going to watch other students drive just like you did. And you should build your confidence up while you watching them. If they could do it, you could do it. So it's just that plain and simple. You just got to learn. You just got to be patient and take your time. And that's what it is, man. So if today was day one, you just learn on shifting. Maybe after the next week, they get you to, and even on day one, you're going to start making turns. You're not just going to drive straight the whole time. They're going to have you bust a left and have you bust a right. And another thing, when you at a green light, if you in the left-hand turning lane, if you at a red light, if you're in the left-hand turning lane, right? You're supposed to pull out to the middle of the intersection. So even if when it's green and you pull out to the middle of the intersection, you can make a left. Even if that light hits red, because you already basically cleared yourself legally to make that left. You just couldn't pull out in front of other cars. But when you pull out in the intersection and that light hits red, you still can make that left once traffic clears, because that's legal. That's what they told us. And of course, you could make a left while it's flashing yellow, and of course, you can make it while it's green. But that's just another tip. You're supposed to leave your truck out in the intersection and bust that left. And that's pretty much it, man. Road driving is plain and simple. Your instructor gonna teach you how to properly shift gears. Your instructor gonna teach you how to properly shift gears, how to make a left-hand turn, how to make a right-hand turn, and get your truck up to speed. Once you on the roads where you gotta go 55 miles per hour, and then it's about merging on the highway, getting your truck up to speed doing that, and then learning how to downshift. When you finna come to a yellow light, you gotta know how to downshift. You can't just drive and let it coast in neutral. And then also, you gotta know what to say in case you gotta make an emergency stop. You got 10 minutes to be on the side of the road before you put the caution, before you gotta put your, if you pull over on the side of the road, you gotta put your hazards on. If you're there for more than 10 minutes, you have to bring out your caution triangles, your hazard triangles. You gotta tell the instructor that when you're on your road test, or they will fail you. And you gotta make sure you getting off the clutch, you're not letting the truck cut off because you didn't know how to properly let off the clutch and gas at the same time. Because if you do that, they will fail you instantly. If you let the truck shut off while you driving, like if you're at a red light and you don't know how to come off that clutch, they will fail you. And it's plain and simple. If you're driving too close, they will fail. No, they ain't gonna fail you. That's points against you. But if you do it too many times, they probably will fail you. With that being said, that is road driving. I hope y'all like the video, man. I basically explained everything that you should know dealing with road driving, getting your road experience out there. Start off shifting gears, start off at low speeds. You're gonna learn how to shift faster. You're gonna learn how to get the truck on the highway. You're gonna learn how to make your left and right turns. You might even learn how to back while you out there too. And that's pretty much it, man. And this is basically for people who shifting gears, man, with manual transmission. I don't drive automatic, so I can't teach automatic. I drive automatics now, but I didn't learn or do my test, my CDL test in automatic. And that's what it is, man. So this your boy, 9 to 5 Twine, man. This has been another great episode of Trucking with 9 to 5 Twine, man. And before we leave, I want y'all to like this video. I want y'all to subscribe to my YouTube channel. And I want y'all to comment on the video and tell me how I did and explain everything. I kind of got lost. I kind of went in and out of topics, but I still feel like I did an overall great job in describing everything and learning and basically teaching y'all what you're gonna have to expect and what you're gonna have to do to get your road experience up out there. So with that being said, man, follow me on all social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, all that. I follow back. I'm not bougie. Shouts out to everybody that's been subscribing, who been viewing my videos and showing me love. I appreciate the comments and the likes. And last but not least, man, this Trucking with 9 to 5 Twine, man. Get up out of here, go home, get some good food, get some rest, get up, do it back over again. Study your CDL manual, watch a lot of YouTube videos, and go ahead and knock it out, man. Complete truck driving school and get your CDL and get your road experience, man, and get on the road and make $100,000 a year, man. Go view my hit single. It's called Trucking. It's on my YouTube channel. Go find it. It's a video. Go find that video, man. Trucking by 9 to 5 Twine, man. I made a music video called Trucking. Shouts out to all the truck drivers and all the new drivers out there, man. Truck drivers run the world, and that's what it is, man. We signing out. See y'all next time.